Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome back to another event video on Marvel Strike Force. Now, just before we go any further, I want to say, how has your Black Knight weekend been? Because I gotta say that now I think, at least in my arena, and I know this is not what we're going to be talking about, I just kind of wanted to bring this up in the beginning anyways, that there's like people all across my top 10 now with Black Knight. I am holding the line. I am trying really hard. Those of you who have been following me, we're trying really hard for Monday, which is going to be when this event starts, when we're going to be able to start using our power cores. And for those of us who have been hoarding a lot of power cores, anyways, hopefully trying to unlock Black Knight then with your power core hoard. We'll be talking about exactly how much kind of progress that will give you as well in this event, because we'll talk about that and where we think that you'll get, whether you saved cores or not, sort of the free-to-play version, and what I call the Black Knight Unlock Core version, and how far you'll make in the milestone. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. Now, first things first, I just want to talk about the Paint the Town Red event again. We're going to go switch to this so I'm not in the way, as usual. In terms of the kind of rewards that you're going to see in this event, of course, you're going to get some Red Goblin shards. You're going to get, obviously, all the event monthly currency stuff for Red Goblin. So you should be on your way, if not pretty close to unlocking Red Goblin by Monday or Tuesday, I would think, because I'm pretty close. I think I have like 90 shards, 85 shards, something like that. Like I'm awfully really close to getting them. So it shouldn't be too much into this event when you get enough currency as well to be able to pick this up. Now, this event itself, of course, is going to be largely for spending power cores, doing battles in Cosmic Crucible. PS, if I wasn't clear enough or the blog wasn't clear enough, make sure you're taking your Superior 6 off of defense so that you can use them for some additional points. A lot of this will help you push to extra milestones if you have 5 and 7 yellow star rather Superior 6 characters. And as far as the web milestone, oh no, that's the leaderboard. As far as the web milestone goes, it's just raid battles. It's pretty easy though. We'll talk about that too. Now, there is a leaderboard, of course. So that's kind of another reason why you're going to want to push a little bit further on this event, because it's going to, I doubt it. Like most of us are not going to get to the top 1,000, but some of you might. Maybe if you've hoarded a lot of power cores, you might be able to push that. But basically, outside of the free-to-play realm of points, the only way to push this further is by spending power cores. So it is a leaderboard of core spending, basically. Now, I might be able to, because I've hoarded quite a bit of cores, that, with luck, I might be able to get in the 1 to 3% range. The 500 dark diamonds is okay. That's actually almost enough to get like a 1 diamond a horseman character, almost. And then 1,000 dark promos, those are good too. And 1,000,000 blue flies. So it's not bad, in terms of what you would get extra for pushing this. So that's not terrible. As far as the Alliance spending, the ISO 8, this is an ISO 8 campaign energy and incursion energy milestone. We're going to talk about the math on this first, because I think this one's a little bit interesting. And the points that they give for the incursion energy is pretty shit, actually, because if you think about how much incursion energy you actually get, and I would not core for this during this event. So we'll talk about that first. Here's the subtotal. Let's go back. This is the subtotal, by the way, for February of what we have so far. There's only 3 weeks. And our current subtotal is, we're missing about 202K. Now, obviously, there's a lot of, well, I'm going to say a lot of points up for grabs. Usually each week is somewhere like 150K. And then I guess the free claims have been 16.8K was this past Friday. So with luck, we're gonna get there. I don't. It seems like it's gonna be pretty close. Like I don't think it's gonna be like way over the line. I feel like kind of like last month with January, we were only at like a surplus of 21K. So there was a total of 61K, but a lot of this was locked behind the Tribunal Tech milestone at the end, which was a bit more difficult to get. So the numbers for February, I don't know how close it's gonna be. It might not be super great, but we'll find out. The first thing that I want to talk about is that Alliance-based event. So Red Blooded also starts its ISO 8 energy and incursion energy for your Alliance for 5 days. 938,000 is the total milestone points required. We're probably not going to get there. You get 2 points per ISO energy spent, 3 per incursion energy, which again, in the grand scheme of things is not worth much because you're going to be spending a lot more ISO 8 energy. So that's where the bulk of this is going to come from. And earning allied orb fragments, which I believe is just the free claim. I don't know if they said there was any other way in there. And sometimes the numbers are not always static, so it's kind of hard to judge exactly how far you'll be able to get. So it's like a 2/3 complete, page here that I have. So, but as far as your ISO 8 energy goes, you get about 1130 per day. Now, because we're also going to be doubling down for core spending, I'm going to be assuming that you're going to be doing your refreshes for ISO 8 energy during this week for Paint the Town Red. And so it's going to go to your ISO 8 energy for this. We'll talk about that when we get there, though. So 1130 per day if you're doing the refreshes. That's 2260 per day total of points. And then over 5 days, that's 11.3K. Now multiply, assuming you have a full alliance, of course, times 24, you get about 271K. All right, total points for that. That's for ISO 8 energy. Now, incursion energy, you only get about 144 if you don't refresh. It's not a lot. So multiply by 3, you get 430 points, and then times by 24 for 24 people. That's point. Oh, sorry. Actually, you know what? I screwed this up. That is by 24 people, but it should be times 5 days. It's a little bit better than that. It's still not a lot, but it's I kind of skipped a step. So 52,000 points. So it's not too bad, right? And if you were to add these two together, and then we don't have the allied orb fragments yet, but that's about 323K. It is fairly negligible, though, I would say, comparatively to the ISO 8 energy. I am not going to assume that you're coring incursion energy, because that would bring up your core total to somewhere close to 400 daily, and I don't think that you really should. But if you want to, go ahead. So where does that get you in the milestone in terms of the rewards, though? So this is going to get you to milestone 13 over here, which will give you this line of 4,000 Carnage Symbiote Vials. I think probably with the allied orb fragments, which we'll get from the free claim across 24 people for 5 days, I think you will probably get this milestone 15. We can sometimes they give like 500. So I'm just going to do 500 times 24 people per day times 5 days. It's about 60,000. So maybe not actually. 60,000 points from the allied orb fragments. It's about 383,000. We might not get to the milestone 15. We might get milestone 14. So who knows? 14, 15? I'm not sure. You might need to push a little bit more if you wanted to get 15. How important that's going to be to the month-long total, I'm not entirely sure on that one. So we'll have to wait and see how far we do end up getting. But a lot of the gold down here in the further milestones is definitely going to be in the Whalestone territories. Let's talk about the actual event that we're here to talk about, which is Paint the Town Red, right? So this is a 7-day event. Power cores, Cosmic Crucible, raids, and opening these ruby red orbs, which again largely comes from the raid web milestone, so you don't need to worry too much there. Total milestones required for this is 120K. The event item is good at 33.7K. That's where you'll get it. And there's a total of 93,000 points event currency up for grabs, 79,000 from the main milestone, and 14,000 from the web. 35 red goblin shards at 56K milestone points. This should also be fairly achievable, I think. Free claims we don't know yet. And the total amount of points that we're going to get from the web milestone is about 31.5K. Now, every single day, you are getting 1,500 milestone points and 4,000 orb fragments. Now, those 4,000 orb fragments is going to convert into 3,000 points because you get 1,500 points per orb open. So that's like opening 2 orbs. So you're getting 3K plus 1,500. That's 4,500 per day. Times 7 days, that's 31,500. Now, just double back to the web milestone, you can kind of see it here. You're also getting the month-long currency every single day, but all this stuff is every day. What's really, really great about this too is there's augmented alien spores. If you still need them, you're going to get a total of 35 augmented teal alien spores if you need it towards characters like Venom, Carnage, and Void Knight. If you still need it, that's a lot of uniques there. So I'm actually overflowing, or Super Scroll actually, if you still need them. So I'm overflowing here now with alien spores with all the ones they chucked at us. But hey, for those of you who still need it, it's not too bad. Now, as far as where you get points elsewhere, I don't know if we're getting any more ruby red orb fragments, or whatever the orb is called, from the free claim. I'm not sure what the free claim is going to contain exactly. So when this event goes live on Monday, I will have this page updated with the free claim, and I'll have that posted as usual in the Boilon's resources channel on the Discord. So make sure that you stay up to date, that you're part of the Discord if you want to share this with your alliance or what have you, or keep it for yourself. So keep an eye out for that. Now you're going to get 3 points per power core spent, 750 per Cosmic Crucible battle. Now I know this is a win. I think we're kind of in, like, to some degree, we're in a little bit of a 2-tap meta. So I think that you should be able to clear these, like, even if you have to do sack taps, I guess, or like, take other teams in to sack it. I think it's viable. So for the purposes of this, I am going to include you winning for 18 battles. which some people might think is a bit unfair. But I am going to be including that as a necessity. But it's not that hard to get the event item because if you see here, it's 33.7k. You get 31.5k from the web milestone. So even if you don't really compete much in Crucible, you'll still get the event item. You just might not get all the other stuff that comes down with it. So you get 75 points up to 1125 for superior 6 characters in Cosmic Crucible. This is a total of 15 characters worth, or basically the full team 3 times. That's essentially what it is. Same thing at 5 stars, same thing at 7 stars. So you'll get some combination of points probably for 5 and 7 star, depending on how many characters you have. I have a 5-star Craven, 7-star Doc Ock, and Green Goblin. For the purposes of this, though, I have only included these points in the total. So if you do have any 5 or 7-star superior 6 characters, you'll have a little bit more than what I'm going to mention down below. For 18 Cosmic Crucible wins, that's 13.5k. So these kind of the sky blue, there's the subtotals. We're going to add this all together. And then if you're doing 200 cores daily, you're going to get about 4,200. Now, where are you going to use your cores? You could use it in the ISO 8 energy from the previous event that we talked about, or you can do it wherever you want, campaign energy or whatnot. If you want to spend a little bit more, go for that too. Now, I have this other scenario, which is what I call if you're spending about 10, I'm rounding a little bit, but 10,000 cores spent to unlock Black Knight. Now, you could do it for less. I think it's a little bit more. I think it maxes out like 11k or somewhere around there. Like if you literally got full all 6s. I think the average is somewhere around 8 to 9k, but for the sake of the math, I'm just going to do 10,000. So, you'll get a straight up 30k points if you spend 10,000 cores. So I'm just using this to kind of add on to where you might get in the milestone for doing this. So the total reasonable points for everyone else, though, is going to be about 50k. This is going to be the 13.5, going to be plus the 4,200, plus the 11.25, plus the 31.5. Those 4 numbers together, which doesn't include the free claim, by the way, will get you to 50,000 points. And this is milestone 15 cleared and up to 20 red goblin shards. Now, milestone 16, I believe, is what you need to get for the other red goblin shards. Let's zoom out here. I believe, yes, it is milestone 16. That's 56,100 points. So this would be possible with a combination of 5 and 7-star superior 6 characters. So if you do have that, you're going to get awfully close to milestone 16. Without blowing all your cores and stuff like I mentioned down below. Just like regular core spending would probably get you to milestone 16. Now, if you're like me and you're holding out till Monday to unlock Black Knight, then I'm kind of budgeting somewhere around 10,000 cores that I might need to spend to get them. And that is going to actually improve your total milestone points to about 76k, give or take, depending on how much cores you actually end up spending. Now, that 76k is going to be milestone 17 for sure over here and close to milestone 18. It's not quite there. But again, with the superior 6, 5, and 7-star characters, that might push you to milestone 18. So what do you get as a result? 18 is the Marvel's Photon costume. I know so many people care about that, right? But there is a bunch of teal catalyst packs between 16, 17, and 18. There is also the Red Goblin shards, which you'll have no problems crossing. 500 orange modules, training modules over here. It's not super amazing, I admit. Like, the rewards are not super great. So it's entirely up to you. But I mean, it's double dipping. Not only are you double dipping to potentially unlock Black Knight, but you're also double dipping for the leaderboard, right? And that's kind of the primary reason why you might want to do this. It's what I've been trying to save to make sure I get extra value out of me unlocking Black Knight and whoever else is in my boat that's kind of waiting along for Monday to do this as well. I'm hoping that with the 10,000 or whatever cores that I have in my bank up there, is spent towards Black Knight, that I'll have a good chance of getting towards the 1 to 3% so that I can pick up these juicy credits that I need, the dark promo credits, dark diamond credits, because I'm going to need all of that. As far as the dark promos, I'm not in a great boat anymore because I did buy Black Knight up to 5 red, which is something that I personally recommend, because if you are doing what I'm doing, which is, well, either you unlock them with cores or you're spending money, I think that plus the free-to-play Black Knight event, which is going to be coming the week after, and possibly a pass that he might get too, I think there's a pretty good chance that we're going to get 5-star out of that, 5 yellow. For everyone else, you're probably only going to get like a 4, but if you did actually do the 100 shards plus to unlock them, then you probably have a good chance of getting 5. Therefore, you should get the 5 red out of the store, which is what I did. Now I'm kind of broke a little bit. I have 2,000 dark promo credits, which I'll be saving towards the eventual Super Scroll one day, right? Like, who knows when that's going to happen, but I want to make sure that I have enough when it does hit. So that's the end of the video, everyone. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Also, what are your plans with Black Knight? Have you been saving power cores like I have to unlock him, or are you just gonna wait for 2 more weeks until he's available free to play? Either way, hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.